Cassandra was beautiful inside and out.
She was bright, she was smart and funny.
She's a great person. I mean, she's one of those few just genuine, real, nice, kind-hearted people.
Loving, generous, to a fault.
She was good to people.
She was born to be a mother.
If I had a child, I'd want her to be my child.
Growing up, she was amazing. She was reading when she was 3. Literally reading books. I mean, you know, she could pick up a book and read it. Like first grade books, second grade books. She potty trained herself because she couldn't stand babies use the bathroom on themselves. She couldn't stand using the bathroom on herself. So by the time she was like 12, 14 months old, she was totally potty trained.
Cassandra was such a good child, and the relationship that her and I had, that Cassandra and I had, was great. I just never really believed that there would be a relationship like that. I mean, you hear about these children that don't come in at night, and Cassandra wasn't like that. Cassandra was the type of person, if she told you she would be somewhere, she would be there.
She did real well in school. She used to score like in the top 3% in the nation, top 5% in the nation on the tax test. She was just really smart. And she graduated school when she was 16.
We got together as a couple in about mid-2006, and it was quite wonderful. Cassie was a beautiful person on the inside. Her heart, it just went out to people. She volunteered for Caring Hearts, but they help people in need with like food and clothing.
At a young age, probably 13, she would help do the bookwork, help answer phones, put ideas in my head about having an animal shelter and to keep struggling to keep doing it. We would be taking care of strays when everybody else was eating Thanksgiving dinner. Cassandra and her mother would come up there and bring us Thanksgiving.
Cassandra would go to Walmart and she would buy a $200 television, and she would raffle that TV off for charity, and before she was through, she would have $500, $600, $700, $800 for a place called Puddin's Place, for a no-kill animal shelter.
Cassandra started throwing parties for all of her little friends, and they would have to bring either food, fruit, or coats to come to the party, and then she would donate that.
My wedding day was one of the most exciting days of my life, actually. Very, very hectic, but I was very excited all day. Whatever went wrong, I just kept thinking to myself, it'll all be worth it. It'll all be worth it. You know, I finally get to marry her.
I love my son-in-law Tim, and it was just fantastic to be able to walk her down the aisle and see that she was going to get married, and what a wonderful life they had in store for them.
I was really proud. I was really happy for her.
And we had talked about having some kids, preferably a boy and a girl. She wanted to name one James Eli. I wanted to make sure the firstborn son was named after my grandfather, James. And talked about having a little girl.
When I first met Cassie, I was a single dad, and I hired her as my son's babysitter, Trey. She started watching him. She was pretty much the closest thing he had to a mother figure. Besides the fact of not giving birth to him, she was basically everything, you know, that a mother should be. She played with him just like a mother would, taught him stuff. You know, she schooled him in stuff toddlers would learn, you know, ABCs, 1, 2, 3s.
Cassandra and I talked about her having kids, and she really wanted them. She wanted to wait until she got out of college.
I was coming up to feed her, and I looked over, and I seen a car upside down on the freeway. And something come out of my mouth that I know I wasn't saying, and it said, "No one can live through that." And all of a sudden, a peace came over me that I've never experienced in my life as I was passing the accident. And I looked back at the accident and I said, "That's Cassandra's car."
I was at work when I got a phone call, and they called from Cassandra's phone instead of like someone else's, so I pick up the phone, and you know, it was to my cell phone at work, and I just told her, I said, "Hey sweetie, what are you doing?" And it was a lady. She said, "Do you know a Cassandra?" And as soon as she said that, I knew something had to be wrong.
When I heard that Cassandra had been in an accident, I was at work. I answered the phone, and it was someone that I didn't know. And I could just hear Cassondra's mother crying in the background. And she told me that she was calling on behalf of Jody because Jody was too choked up, and that Cassondra had been in a terrible accident and I needed to come immediately.
I seen Cassondra laying in the bed with tubes in her and a machine making her breathe, and it was just terrible to see my daughter like that. Somebody so full of life. Somebody just 2 hours earlier that was laughing and telling her mother how much she loved her, and then to see her laying in a hospital bed with a breathing machine helping her breathe.
That night in the hospital was probably the worst experience of my life. And the worst part about it was that I had to leave alone.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, that's stuff that happens to other people. It never happens to you. She said, "I love you, Mama." That was the last thing she said to me.
The thing I miss the most about Cassondra is probably her embrace. It seemed like no matter what was wrong or what happened, it was always all right when I was home there. The whole world could be falling down around us, but as long as I had her, then that's all I needed.
I miss everything about her. I miss her smile. I miss her telling me, "Dad, I love you." I miss all of those things about Cassondra. I miss the phone calls. I miss calling her and her answering the phone and say, "Dad, I love you. How are you, Dad?"
Her smile and her laugh and her generosity. She just loved life. I've never met anyone else that loves life the way she did. Not ever. And I miss that. I don't think she ever came across a bad situation that she couldn't turn good.
She'd help anybody she could, had a special soft spot for animals. She had talked about wanting to be a veterinarian.
Basically, to be a vet, you have to have two kindnesses. You have to care about the person that has the animal, and then you have to care of the animal, that the person loves the animal and the animal loves the person. She's perfect because she loved both.
What she really wanted to be was a veterinarian. She was going to take what she could do at Lamar, and then she was going to go to Texas A&M.
There's going to be lives that aren't the same because she's not around.
I'm selfish and I wish she was still here.
Having Cassondra in my life was an amazing gift every day. I remember I would wake up in the mornings, and if I ever questioned why I went to work or why I did what I did, all I had to do was roll over, and there she was. She gave me purpose. And you know, we had our whole future ahead of us. We had everything. We had it planned out. And, you know, I'll never know now.